In this video, we'll have a look at how we can add a HUD for our player. As we see up here in the top left, we have an icon for our health, for our score, and for our timer. We won't program this to function in this video, we're just going to get it laid out on the screen. First, let's go to the top and add a new scene. Over on the left, we will add a new child node, and it's going to be a control node. Now, this is a base class for all GUI controls. So GUI stands for Graphical User Interface, and it adapts its position and size based on its parent control. So we want to use this control as the root node for any kind of UI element we're adding. Now, under control, I'll right click, add child node, and we're going to add a label. This is just simply to display text, so create that. And also, I'm going to add a sprite 2D. So I'll start with the sprite 2D. I'm going to open my assets folder, go to the Brackeys assets, and out of the sprites options, I'm going to pick the coin. I will drag that over to the texture here. Now, if I press F to center and scroll in, I don't want every single frame from that coin animation. So on the right hand side, I'll click on region, enabled, and then I will edit region. I will zoom in, and then I'm just going to drag around the first coin here and close. Now we just see the first coin, which is perfect. So next on the right, I'll minimize that region. I'm going to go to transform, and I'm going to set the scale of the coin to 2.5. Now I'm going to go on the left and select the label. For the text, I'm just going to write in 0. Now we'll move this text to be next to the coin. And as you can see, the text is looking quite blurry and it's also very small. So we're going to fix that next. So on the right hand side, if we scroll down and click the theme overrides button, then select fonts. Then back over here on the left in our file system, there should be a folder for fonts in Brackeys tutorial assets. Select the pixel operator and drag it into this box here under fonts. That's going to give us a nice clear font style. And I will now also update the font size. So I'm going to set it to say 32. And now we can just drag it to be by the side, probably about here. And now we're set with a score UI element. So let's go to the top left. I'm going to rename this control to score, and then we will save the scene. So make sure that saves inside of the scenes folder. Click save. Now, what I'm going to do is open the scenes folder down here. And with the score we just made, I'm going to right click and duplicate. Now I'm going to rename this to heart and press duplicate. And this is because I'm now going to just use this score as a template. So I'll double click heart, and that will open up. Now we see the same thing, but you see along the top we have score and we have heart. So the heart scene I'm going to adjust to be for the heart. And because it's mostly the same is the reason that we're just reusing the score. So I'll start just by renaming score to heart. Then on the sprite 2D, instead of having the coin icon, I'm going to go back into my assets, and I'm going to find my UI items and drag a heart texture in here. Now we need to adjust this. So we did have the region enabled. So I'll click on region and I will disable that, and then my heart will appear fine. And the scale and everything there looks good. So I'll keep that as it is. And that's it for the heart. So just remember to save. And now again, I'll do the same. So in the left in my file system, I will right click on my heart and duplicate this. I will rename it to timer, press duplicate. And then with the timer that we created down here, we will double click to open it. And again, it opens up, it has the heart icon. So we'll change that. We will first rename from heart to timer, and then select the sprite 2D, and we will go back to assets and UI items, and we'll drag in a timer texture instead of the heart. Now, I think the timer looks a little bit too big, so I'll go back into the transform and I will scale this back down to perhaps 1.5, and that looks a little bit better. Now, let's get these icons added into our scene. So if we go back to our main level scene, over on the left, we will right click on the level and add a child node, and we're going to look for a canvas layer, select it and create. Now the canvas layer is where we're going to add all of our UI elements. So on the canvas layer, right click, add child node, and look for a control. Select the control and add it. Then on the control node, right click, add child node, and we're going to look for a VBox container. Select it and create. Now a VBox container, the V stands for vertical, so it's going to vertically align any elements we add inside of this for us automatically. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my scenes down here, and we can drag in our heart scene and make it a child of the VBox container. We can drag in our score, and we can drag in the timer. Now you can see at the moment they're all bundled together and it's a bit of a mess. So we're going to sort that out. If we go to the VBox container and go to theme overrides, constraints, and this separation value, let's set that to 50. There we go. We have some nice separation between the elements now. Next, if we go and click back on the control node over here on the left, then open the layout section, you will have these anchor presets. Now at the moment, the position of our UI elements is not quite good enough. If we run the game, you can see that they're hiding. They're not quite in view. So if we go into this layout section, then in the anchor presets, I'm happy with top left, but I'm going to click on custom. And then for anchor points, I'm going to drag the left value over a little bit so you can actually see that this starts to move, and the top value. So this is the distance from the left and the top of the window. Now if we run the game, they're positioned more on the screen, but they're too far in for my liking. So I'm going to readjust that again. And if I try it now, there we go, I'm happier with that. In a later video, we'll look at how to actually code these so that we have a set amount of lives and the score increases and we have a timer. But for now, we're just focused on the positioning. So that is it for adding a player HUD for now.